So this is the homepage of Recogito. This is what you see as you go to the Recogito URL, which is recogito.pelagios.org. And you're going to need to pick a username and a password and to provide an email address in order to register for using the tool and have the ability of logging in and annotating your documents. I also want to point out that if you feel more comfortable in reading rather than watching tutorials, there is a help section right here on the homepage, which provides a series of instructions with illustrations that you may find useful. And most of these sections are also translated into several different languages. So feel free to explore this section if you feel like this is something that you are a little bit more comfortable with. Let's go back to the homepage. At this point, you should be already registered for Recogito. If you haven't done so, please do it. Provide an email address and a password. And at this point, you can click on this button and proceed with the login. So this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to provide my email and my password, and I'm going to log in. And here it is. I am in my workspace. The Recogito Workspace provides you with an overview of all the documents that you have uploaded on the program and that you're working on. You can see that there are different icons depending on the type of document that you have here. There are obviously text documents, but also images indicated like this, or even tables, if that's what you uploaded, indicated by an icon like this. You also have the ability of creating folders where you can ideally collect files that pertain to the same project, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. You can also opt for a different kind of overview of all your files. By doing this, you can have a list, you can have icons, and so on and so forth. You can also decide how you want to see your files and what kind of information you want to prioritize. You can drag these little gray triangles right here to get an order on which information you want to see first, and you can also decide which types of information you want to see in the workspace overview. You also have the ability of adding a description to the entire workspace and to the entire set of documents right here. Another thing that I want to point out are the options right here in the left sidebar. As you can see, the first thing that you can have is your profile and your name. You also can access to your account settings and sign out by clicking directly on the name of your profile. This icon, this button, enables you to add new things. And also, as you can see, here the default view of your workspace has your documents, which is the documents that you have uploaded for yourself and that you're working on. But there is also another non-default view that says shared with me. I'm going to click on that. And as you can see, what it shows me is all of the documents that have been created by other Recogito users that have been shared with me. And I'm going to show you how to share a document in this series of tutorials. Other relevant information that are shown in the left sidebar. You can see the storage, how much space you have left, what kind of activity you have, what kind of edits, how many and when, and a list of your top collaborators right here. So this is essentially what you can see in the workspace. Now let's have a look at how to create new files and how to upload new files in the Recogito workspace. In order to add new content on the Recogito workspace, all you have to do is to click on this blue button that says New. And it's going to give you the option of either creating a new folder or uploading a new file. First of all, I'm going to show you how to create a new folder. So you just want to click on Folder, and you want to give the folder a name. So for example, and you click on OK to confirm your choice. You should be able to see the folder in your workspace. By double-clicking on it, you're going to be able to get into the folder, and you also have the option of adding a description in order to provide some more specific details about what the project is and what kind of material is collected into this folder. So for example, something like this. And you definitely want to confirm that this is the description that you want. You can always go back and edit the description by clicking on the pencil icon on the right. Let's go back to the document, and I'm going to show you how to upload a new document or a new image into your Recogito workspace. In order to do that, all you want to do is once again click on the blue button that says New, and this time we're going to select File Upload. Now, first of all, I'm going to show you how to upload a document that has some text in it, and Recogito accepts all of the most common plain text files, TXT, Markdown, and it is also acceptable to upload an XML TEI document if that's what you're working on. So let's click on File Upload, and it's going to prompt us to our computer, and we want to select, at this point, a plain text file like this. We want to confirm our choice, and it's going to show you a little progress bar if the file is relatively big, and eventually you're going to be able to see it in your workspace up here. Now, the first thing that we want to do with a file like this is to change the metadata so that the correct information about author, language, date is going to appear in our workspace, and we're going to be able to do something with it. So in order to do that, what we want to do is to double click on the file and open the edit window. There it is. This, I'm going to show you all of the different functions of this and all of the different annotation options in one of my next tutorials. For now, the only thing that we want to do is to change the metadata of this document. And in order to do that, we click on Document Settings right here. So here is the document metadata. Obviously, everything is empty right now, so we want to give our document the appropriate information. For example, we want to choose a title that is fitting with the content of the document. We also want to give it an author if that information is available. It's not necessary, but you can always give it a date if you're interested in sorting your files in that way. And you also can give it a more lengthy description if there is something useful that you want to have to distinguish this document from the others. So for example, we may want to have information about the specific verses of the Iliad that are in this particular document. You always want to have some kind of information about the language, and in this case, you proceed with normal language codes. So in this case, I have an English translation of the catalog of ships, so I'm going to go with English. The source is basically the website or the publication where you took this document from. In my case, this is the Perseus Digital Library. You also want to give some information about the edition or the translation if you have that information at hand. And very importantly, you want to set up a license depending on the copyright status of your particular text. And this is going to be very important in order to select the appropriate sharing options. So for example, for me, I'm going to create a CC Attribution Share Alike 4.0 International license. And you can also add some extra information about the license or the copyright if you have it. Now, very important, remember to save your changes by clicking on this button right here. It's going to confirm that you have indeed saved your changes. And now that we have modified our document metadata, we can go back to our workspace and see how that has changed. In order to go back to my workspace, I just click on my profile name. And there we are. We can see all of the documents, and finally we can see my document that I completely changed. As you can see, all of the metadata are in the appropriate column. Now, in order to move this document into my DHSI folder, what I need to do is to click on the document once, and as you can see, a little button here materializes in the upper right corner that says Options. Most of these options are pretty straightforward, open a new tab, and so on. In a separate tutorial, I'm going to show you how this one works. But for now, everything that we want to do is just to move this document into our folder. So we just click on Move, select our folder, and click on Move here. And there you go. By double-clicking on our folder, we're going to be able to see our catalog of ships just right here. In order to upload an image on the Recogito workspace, the steps that you have to follow are pretty much the same. So once again, you want to click on New and click on File Upload. And Recogito accepts most of the most common image file formats like JPEG, JPG. You can also upload a PNG file or a TIFF format file. I just recommend that you pick sufficiently high quality files so that your annotation process can run smoothly. Now, one thing that you may want to do either with documents or with images is to upload multiple files at once that are actually parts of the same document, so that in Recogito you actually have one document that is composed of several different files. You actually have the ability to do that. So when you are prompted to your folder where you want to pick your files, everything that you have to do is just to select multiple files at once and click on Choose for Upload. Now, for files that have a particularly large format or that are particularly heavy themselves, Recogito will actually show you its progress bar right here. And what the progress bar does is just give you an idea of how long it will take to upload all of the files in your workspace. So we're just going to give it a minute and then we are going to go back to the workspace. And at the end of the process, you can see that you don't have the single file names in your workspace, but you actually have just one document that says New Document under the title column. And I'm going to show you what that looks like in the annotation window. So we double click on the file. And as you can see, the left sidebar has actually changed and it shows me each of the 3 different files that I have uploaded in my annotation window. We're going to change the document metadata as well, and I'm going to show you a different feature right here that is available to you if your document is made up of several different files. So once again, you just want to change the different document metadata, give it an appropriate title, an author, a date, and so on, depending on the type of information that you have for your particular document. Now I changed all of the document metadata off camera so that I could show you one of the more advanced features, which is edit the metadata of the single document parts, that is, the single files that you have uploaded. In the case of documents that are made up of different files, you may have different sources or actually different titles for each of the files that you have uploaded. So this may come in handy if you actually downloaded your document parts from different places, or if you want to give it more clearer or more appropriate titles under here that you can visualize in the annotation window. You want to save the changes, of course, and so you're going to see the change titles or the change sources depending on what you have done in this particular section of the document metadata. So we're just going to go back to my workspace right here, and as you can see, all of the appropriate metadata are in place right now. I'm just going to move it to our workshop folder once again. And there we go. We have 2 of our files, 1 image and 1 document that are ready to be annotated. Now in the next tutorial, I'm going to show you how you proceed with annotating a text, such as the catalog of ships, and with annotating an image, such as the Pointing Your table.